having a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's video tutorial. This week I'm going to be showing you how you can make this two-tone purple cake, and we've got these sprinkles around the edge. I also show you how to create this really fun dish or splash or sail for the top of your cake, and you can create this either using candy melts or chocolate. Now I really hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. If you do, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't already, then don't forget you can subscribe to the Cake Spanning's YouTube channel. Okay, let's get started. For my buttercream, I'm using my American buttercream recipe, and I will put a link to this in the description below. I've coloured this in a really pretty lilac colour using the Colour Mill purple. I've also got a small batch which I've just coloured a little bit darker, and I'm going to use this around the bottom. So for my cake, I've got a 5-inch cake, and this one measures around 5 inches in height. Now I've already filled and stacked my cake, so I'm going to go ahead and apply a crumb coat around the outside. All a crumb coat is going to do is just lock in any of those loose crumbs on the surface. So I'm just going in with my long smoothing tool and my offset spatula. Now, one tip when covering your cakes in buttercream is always try and keep the bottom of your scraper on your board. This is going to help you get a 90-degree angle, which is going to give you those nice straight sides. Now, once I've added my crumb coat, I'm then going to pop this in the fridge for that buttercream to firm up so that I can apply my final layer of buttercream. Once that cake has come out of the fridge and that crumb coat has firmed up, we're going to add the final coating of buttercream around the edge. So I'm starting on the top, just allowing that buttercream to overhang slightly. I'm going in, adding that buttercream all over the cake, and as I did before with my crumb coat, just going in, smoothing down the sides. Now I will put a link to a more detailed video on the screen and in the description below to show you in more detail how I prepare, fill and cover my cakes in buttercream so that you can get your cake to this stage. Now, if you ever struggle getting smooth sides and sharp edges on your buttercream cakes, I will also put a link to another video that I have showing you how to use acrylic discs. If you do find it hard, then acrylic discs or ganaching plates can really help you get smoother sides. And just using my offset spatula on the top, working from the outside, just pulling in to give me a nice sharp edge. Now that's covered, I can then pop this in the fridge for that buttercream to firm up so that I can add the darker buttercream around the bottom. So this is going to look a little bit like the fault line cakes, or if you've ever added on a fondant wrap around your cake. So I've got some of my darker purple buttercream, and you want to make sure that the cake that you're putting this on is nice and firm, as I don't want the colours combining. I'm going to take my buttercream and just using my offset spatula, I'm going to apply this to the bottom of my cake. So I'm coming up around 1.5 inches. Now, one thing is you don't want to make it too even. So I want quite a jaggedy edge. And you can go up as far as you like on the cake. I've then got a smaller smoothing tool, and you don't want to push in too far that you start to scrape off some of that lighter purple buttercream. So I want to leave around 3 to 4 millimeters in thickness on this darker purple. So I'm going to start just by going in, taking off some of that excess, and then I can go in a little bit deeper and just start to smooth that down. Okay, so there we have this band at the bottom, and as you can see, it's got quite a jaggedy edge. I'm now going to apply some sprinkles. So here I've got the purple wedding sprinkles by Happy Sprinkles. And these have a variety of different colour purples. We've got some white hearts, some white strands. So I think these will match our cake perfectly. Now I do actually have a 10% off discount code for Happy Sprinkles. So all you have to do is enter HappyLinz10 on their website or on the website of the cake decorating company. Now, if you ever struggle to pick up sprinkles, what I find is if you just add a small amount of edible glue just onto your brush and take off any excess, this is just going to make it a little bit tacky, so that you can pick up some of those sprinkles, lay them against your cake. So I'm adding some of the slightly larger ones by hand. And once you're happy with the positioning, I'm just going to brush all of those ones away on the board, as we don't want them sticking to the side. So So now the cake is ready to transfer onto my board. So I'm just using an 8-inch drum board, and this one is one of the masonite boards. So it's covered in this matte white finish. I'm going to pop a small amount of buttercream into the center just so my cake will stick. Now you've probably seen me do this a lot, but when I transfer my cakes over, I tend to use a smaller offset spatula and also a wider cooking spatula just to help me balance the cake as I lift it across. Okay, so I'm going to be creating the chocolate splash for the top of the cake. Now you can make them out of chocolate. I've actually got some candy melts here, as if you are using chocolate, you will need to temper the chocolate before you use it. But with candy melts, you can just melt them straight down. Now in this bowl, I've got around 80 grams, and these are the Deco Melts by Fun Cakes. Now I find that these ones are a bit thinner, so they have more of a drip like chocolate. If you are using candy melts and you find that you haven't got that drippiness, then you can just add a little bit of vegetable oil to your candy melts. I've then got a silicone mat, my glass board for placing it all on so that I can carry it over to the fridge. Got some purple colour milk to add some colour to make it similar to the buttercream. Now the colour milk is actually an oil-based colour, so it's perfect for using with candy melts or with chocolate. I've then got a glass, and I'm going to use this to form my silicone mat over the top. Now this is quite a small glass, and it has a little bit of a dome on the top. Now whichever glass you choose, just think about how big the bottom or the top is that you're placing your silicone mat over, as this is going to become the base of your chocolate splash. I've then got some clips, or if you've just got some pegs, just for helping me keep my silicone mat exactly where I want it. I can then melt down my candy melts, or if you're using chocolate. Now I'm just going to pop these in the microwave for around 30 seconds, and then for intervals of around 10 to 15 seconds until most of my candy melts have dissolved. Once I'm left with just a few of my buttons, I'm going to take it out and just continue to stir that through until it's nice and smooth. To this, I'm going to add a small amount of that purple colour, and I want to make it just slightly darker than my buttercream. Once that colour has been mixed through, I've placed down my silicone mat. Now my silicone mat has a slightly shinier side on this side, so I've just popped that facing up. I'm then going to take my candy melts and just pop these into the centre. I'm just going to work my board out slightly, just thinning that down. I'm then going to carefully move that out the way, and you want to work quite quickly. So I've got a non-slip mat, and I'm going to place my glass in the centre of my board. I can then take my silicone mat and just place this over the top, and this is going to allow that candy melt just to slip down. Now you can use your pegs to add some more shape, but we do have to get this off, so you don't want any tight bends. So as you can see, it's running down the different sides. Once you're happy with the shape, I can then move this into the fridge for around 10 minutes until those candy melts have completely set. Okay, so once it's come out of the fridge, we're ready to remove the silicone mat. So we want to be really careful. First of all, I'm going to take off the pegs and just lift that from the glass. You then want to carefully peel off that silicone mat. So here we have this really fun splash shape. And the great thing is, every time you make one, they're gonna be slightly different. Now I'm gonna take some buttercream on the bottom and then stick this on the top of my cake, pushing that down slightly to allow it to stick. So here we have the finished buttercream cake. We've got this really fun band of darker purple buttercream at the bottom, just highlighting the edge with some sprinkles by Happy Sprinkles. I've then created this candy melt splash on the top, which I just think looks so fun. I really hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and will be able to use some of these techniques in your own cake decorating. If you have enjoyed the video, as always, don't forget to give it a like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this and you haven't already, then don't forget to subscribe to the Cakes by Nins YouTube channel. Now, I will put a list of all the tools that I've used to create this cake in the description below, so you can find those there. But until next time, bye!